There we go.
I'm going to call together order the special board meeting, and we will do Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead, Christy.
All right, we're going to move to the approval of the minutes of the special board meeting from October 22nd, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, properly moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. And we will move to public comment, but we have no public. So moving on to, where do you want to take it from here?
Closed session,
No close.
No close.
No close.
Number 4.
Adopt the final 2025-26 district levy.
all right. Is there any discussion before we start? All right, then I'll entertain a motion.
So I can just read the number, just so everyone's got the number. So it's the levy is the as shared is the total of $3,328,801 for a mill rate of 7.45, which is actually a little bit lower mill rate than we projected back in August. The levy's a little bit higher than we projected with some of the other revenues that come in at the last minute here at October 15th, but that is what we've got.
All right. I move to approve the final 2025-26 district levy.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the final 25-26 levy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. The next item of business then is to adopt our final 25-26 budget.
Okay, so I did print off paper copies for everybody. Does everybody have one?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone came took one and make sure. Yeah, you got
Good.
You got one, Greg. So just a reminder. So yeah, we just went through the levy. So there's the revenue limit sheet on the front. Just one more time for everyone to see that. And then if we go to the actual budget, I've got it for you here in a couple of different ways. One is the board adoption budget, and so it's just updates. We get revenue, we finalize what our revenue is here after October 15th, and we find out what our state equalization aid is. We get those final counts for open enrollment in and out. We get the levy that we have to do for the private voucher schools. We have some of the other, we've got wage increases to consider in there. We get tighter budget numbers on things like purchase services, like say our purchased Edgenuity, virtual learning and college courses and things like that. From August to now, we've got a better handle on those kind of things. So that's all taken into consideration here. So for general fund there, our total revenue of $9,995,542. It's a balanced budget. That's what our expenses match as that as well. Fund 21 is special projects. Again, that's our activity account. So that's just money in and money out raised by organizations, and then spent by the different various organizations. So different activities like FFA or choir or football or baseball. Special ed is Fund 27. I made a little note there under the beginning fund balance. I wrote the word errata in there. There's just said some data errata in there. We don't know what. There's a little $5 balance pulling through, and we're not quite sure. We'll figure out and clean that up. It should be 0. So it's probably some adjustment from last year, it looks like. So, and then you'll notice that we have a big transfer in. $740,282 is a transfer in from Fund 10, our general fund, into special ed every year that we have to do to offset the costs of special education that are not reimbursed by the state. So that's a big one there. Otherwise, that fund balance is up. We're not allowed to carry any kind of balance in Special Ed Fund 27, so we balance that out and empty it out every year. I don't know if there's any questions on that one. And then we get to funds, debt service funds, 38 and 39. That is our non-referendum debt and referendum debt, and those payment schedules and revenues and expenses are totally dictated by our debt schedule. And then the next,
So,
go ahead.
just going back to special ed, so our total funds that we spend is 1.3 million.
Yes.
And the state is, and of that 1.3, 740,000 of it is ours.
Is spent
Is spent.
from our general fund. We have to put into that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yes. So over half. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Sorry, I didn't mean to rush through that.
No, it's,
Okay, 38, 39. 46 is our capital projects fund. So we're starting out with a balance of 599,000. We talked at an earlier meeting about back in August about using some funds in there to do some of our maintenance upgrades as we go through the year. You'll also notice there is a revenue in there of $35,000. So 15,000 of that is expected interest from the money that's in that account. And then after everything was settled out, we did have $20,000 to put into Fund 46. So we're projecting that $20,000 we would have to funnel in there. We hope, if we have a good budget year, that we're able to transfer more in there at the end of the year, which is often the case. Like I've always said, we budget conservatively, so we try to estimate up on expenses and estimate conservatively on revenues, and then so we're safe, and then hope to quote unquote beat our budget and do better, and then that allows us to have a little, have those kind of unexpected surpluses to transfer into Fund 46 at the end. So, food service fund, again, that's balanced out, and again, we've talked about this over time. We do have a transfer from Fund 10 into that lately, as food expenses have gone up and revenues are not what they used to be under the ESSER times. But that's balanced out. And then community service is Fund 80, and we do have we're letting our fund balance go down a little bit there, about $12,000 or $11,000. So we're projecting to let that dip down a little bit. Any questions on any of that stuff? Fund 60 is just its own. That's the scholarship fund. Again, we don't even really. It's housed under us because we manage it, but it's not really even our money. It's not our fund. So, but again, that's just balanced. That's the scholarship fund. All that revenue is provided by donations, and all the expenses go to the scholarships and expenses of raising the money. The second set of pages there is just the different version of the budget that's like publication, like in the newspaper. It's more stripped down and just shows the very basics.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Sorry, that might have been me activated your phone by saying the wrong thing. Alexa. So that's just a very stripped down version, even more. But what's nice about that little report is at the very end it shows the summary for the last 3 years of the general fund and the debt funds and the levy for the last 3 years. So we know we ran about 2-3 years with really basically no increase to our levy. Last year we had a bigger than expected increase. This year a 7%, which going back historically, I've got some of the documents attached to the board meeting. It's kind of, I don't want to say average, but it's over the period of time that was we had several years prior to the referendum where that was what our levy was, right around that 7% range. And I think after after we get into this budget, I think we can continue to have ongoing discussions about what's part of some of the things that are driving that levy up, which would be $263,000 going towards, for example, voucher schools. That we have to, if we don't levy that money, we lose that money. So we have to, we have an expense, a corresponding expense to that. But and also this was an unusual budget where the state did not put any new money into the equalization formula, and so that $325 per pupil increase is all ends up on local levies because they did not put any more money into the system to balance off the state aid. So we're going to see levies, I think, across the state with that going on right now. But that is the summary, high-level summary of the budget.
Chris, it doesn't actually say what the levy is in the public.
So it's $3,900,000
No, what the actual percentage is.
7.17% increase from last year.
From last year, but it doesn't actually state what the levy is for these last 3 years.
Oh,
Should it?
yep, it does, right? Yeah, so it would so this year's 3.28 million, last year.
No, the percentage for our
Oh,
mill
by
rate. She's
percent.
asking the
Oh,
mill
mill
rate.
rate.
Oh, the
Yeah.
mill rate. I can get that for you.
Not that I need it, but I wonder if the public would like to see that
Yeah.
in this report.
So, okay, yeah, I've got it here. I can go back. So this year, 7.45.
Yep.
Last year was 7.65. 23-24 was 6.86. That was, remember, we had a huge increase in property values. 22-23 was 8.24. 21-22 was 9.47. 2021 was 9.45. And in 2019-20 it was 10.14. So we are at a 7.45, which is down a bit from
Yeah.
last year, but it's also we're still in an era of historically low mill rates, because our property values have been increasing more so around this area.
Mhm.
But we are still below the state average because we still get 70% of our aid from the state. We're still more property poor than many other districts. So.
Right on. All right, any other discussion, guys? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the final 2025-26 budget.
All second.
It's been properly moved and second to adopt the 25-26 budget. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. The next item of business is our adjournment. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to adjourn.
Second?
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. We are adjourned.